Rory McIlroy is with us now at the 108th PGA Championship. We'll go ahead and jump right into questions, starting right here with Alex.
Rory, obviously 67 was pretty good out here today. Being 5 back, which certainly within the reach, but yet you have 29 guys you got to jump over. What's the more difficult of the two, you think?
Yeah, I think, if you can get it go, it's hard. It's been hard to make birdies out there because obviously one, the wind the last couple of days, but also where they've put these hole locations. I feel like they've really tried to protect the course the first couple of days. So, it seems like they've used up a lot of the really hard ones. So depending on, a little bit calmer conditions and maybe a couple more favorable hole locations, I think, guys that are just here for the weekend I think everyone's got to feel like they've got a chance. Yeah, yes, it's bunched, but you get on a run with wedges in that front nine, and you shoot 4 or 5 under, and all of a sudden you're right in the thick of things. At 5 back, I do feel like I'm right in the tournament, and that's really what I wanted to do today was to just get myself back in it, and I feel like I've done that.
And one other thing, you characterized your round yesterday with a...
Shit.
Yes. What would you characterize it today as?
Not as shit.
Okay. We'll go right back here.
Rory, not many people this week have gone bogey-free, hardly anyone. Is it a question of really staying patient out there and just waiting for the few chances that do come your way?
Yeah, it is, and I think this afternoon I had a better understanding of how the course was playing, and just watching a little bit of the coverage early on today. I probably went out there yesterday being a little too aggressive, thinking that guys were going to go lower than they were, because I certainly didn't in the practice rounds. I certainly didn't see it playing as difficult as it has played. So I think knowing that the field isn't going to get away from you, you can be a little bit more patient, especially this afternoon.
Talking of patient, it seemed quite slow out there. You had a little sit down on the 10th. You seem to be waiting an awful long time for some of those shots and some of these tee shots. Was it really painful out there at times? It
was slow. I think there were a couple of grips ahead of us. Did Sahith maybe lose a ball on 10? Or so I think, we were on the 8th green when they were having a look for the ball. So I think that's what definitely delayed us in the middle of that round. But it seemed like once we got through that little bottleneck, and there is a few bottlenecks on this course anyway, with like the 8th green, the 10th green beside each other. You've got like 16 green and 9T and 17T right there. So there's a few little parts of the course that you can sort of get jammed on, but it's fine. It seems like that's the first 2 days in major championship golf are always going to be like that. You get that afternoon tee time on Friday at Augusta, and it's one of the slowest rounds of the year. You don't mind being out there because it's Augusta, but at the same time, it is very, very slow. But it'll obviously over the weekend it'll speed up. Hopefully, we can play in 2 balls and things will flow a bit better.
We'll go one more with Todd on A.
Hey, Roy, Scottie said when he finished, this is the hardest set of pin locations that he's seen since he's been out on tour, including the U.S. Opens. Are you okay with the way the setup was the last 2 days with those hole locations?
Yeah. I was. The only thing I would say is I think a bunched leaderboard like this, I think it's a sign of not a great setup. I think when it's as bunched as it is, because it hasn't really enabled anyone to separate themselves. It's like, it's easy to make a ton of pars, hard to make birdies, and not that it's hard to make bogeys, but it feels like bogey's the worst score you're going to shoot on any one hole. There's not a lot of hazards. There's not, I think the setup is fine. the golf course is good. The pins were tough, and the wind was what it was as well. But I just think, yeah, I've always felt like really good setups that it starts to spread the field a bit, and not great setups sort of bring everyone together. And I feel like that's what's happened the last 2 days.
Thanks for your time, Rory.
Thank you.